Well, good afternoon. Happy Wednesday to you folks. Hope everyone is having an awesome day. We are finally making the final descent into our very last long weekend, guys, before school starts. It's almost here. Just a few more days of summer/COVID vacay, and you guys are back to school. Back to school on Tuesday. But we got a long weekend coming up, so that is so good. Today we are going to be diving into Jonah chapter 2. We finished up everything yesterday. Took a little while to go through Jonah chapter 1, and we're going to go through all of Jonah chapter 2 today. We're going to skip some of it just for time's sake. But I encourage you to go and read the entirety of chapter 2 and walk through that prayer that Jonah prays to God throughout Jonah chapter 2. But we're going to kind of hit some high points of it today as we dive in. Guys, those of you that filled out the form online about the coming back to Sunday school, thank you so much. You guys are such a blessing to me for doing that and handling that for me. You guys are awesome, and I cannot wait to share your awesome surprise with you when you get back here on the 13th. So we're going to dive into Jonah chapter 2 today. So remember yesterday we kind of finished up the guys on the ship threw Jonah out of the ship. He got swallowed by a great fish. Well, that's where we land. Jonah inside the belly of the fish. And here we are in Jonah chapter 2. And it starts out in verse 1. It says, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the belly of the fish. Verse 2 it says, and this is Jonah's prayer. Verse 2 says, I called to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me. I cried out for help from deep inside Sheol, and you heard my voice. When you threw me into the depths, into the heart of the seas, the current overcame me. All your breakers and your billows swept over me. And we're going to jump down to verse 9, or verse 8, and finish up the chapter there. Verse 8 says, those who cherish worthless idols abandon their faithful love. But as for me, I will sacrifice to you with a voice of thanksgiving. I will fulfill what I have vowed. Salvation belongs to the Lord. So we see there, and we'll say verse 10. You can go ahead and read it as you read through Jonah chapter 2 today, but we'll say verse 10 to kind of kick off tomorrow. But we see here that, so Jonah runs from God in chapter 1. He's running away diligently, getting away from God's call in his life. And then we see here, Jonah's caught, literally caught in the belly of this great fish. And it says in verse 2, I called to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me. And then at the very end of that, he follows it up with, I will sacrifice to you with a voice of thanksgiving. I will fulfill what I have vowed. Salvation belongs to the Lord. So what I want you guys to know and understand for today is that no matter what you go through, no matter what hits you hard, we can call out to God and he is going to answer us. He is going to have an answer. It may not be the answer that we want, but he's going to have an answer for us. I love that. You got to imagine this had to be an amazingly humbling experience and place for Jonah to land. You know, he's running from God and he gets thrown off and this giant fish swallows him up and he's still alive. He wakes up in the belly of this fish, which had to be disgusting. Just, blah. And what is the first thing he did? He prayed. And it said, I called to the Lord in my distress, and he answered me. Excuse me, lunch getting at me. So as we think about this today, and you think about the distresses that you have in your life, call out to God. You know, we talk about this a lot, all the time. The greatest prayer you can pray is, God, help me. When you don't know what to pray, when you're struggling, the Holy Spirit can pray for you. The Holy Spirit will cry out for you. We just have to surrender to the Holy Spirit's leading and guiding and surrender to God's call on our life to pray to him, to call out to him when we live and we have these places of distress. And I love at the very end of it, Jonah goes through this whole ordeal of just kind of walking through what's happened to him up to this point in this prayer. And he ends it with these words. It says, I will fulfill what I have vowed. Salvation belongs to the Lord. Jonah comes around at the very end of this prayer to the place of, okay, God, I guess I have to go do what you want me to do. But it says, I will fulfill what I've told you I would do, God. And salvation belongs to you. Putting everything I have, all my focus, all my hope into you in this moment. And so as Jonah sat in the belly of that fish, all he could do was be humble. He had no other choice, and God was taking him where he wanted him to go, literally kicking and screaming probably. So as you think about your life today, as you think about following Jesus and what that looks like and sounds like and how you live that out every single day, I pray that God brings you to this place of humility, that you understand that Everything that we have is from God. Everything that we do everything we do should be for God. And I pray that if you're in distress, that you cry out to God today, that you reach out to Him and say, God, I need help. I need help in this situation. I need this issue handled. And God will answer you. It may not be quickly, but He will answer you. And it may not be the answer that you want, but He will give you the answer that you need. And so I pray that you dive into that today, that you let Jesus just pour over you today, and you cry out to Him in anything that you have going on, good, bad, or in the middle. So love you guys, praying for you so much as you get ready to go back to school. We're going to be out at the schools Friday morning, walking around, praying around the outside of the schools, and just praying the Holy Spirit invades that place, and that you guys have the most amazing year of your life and in school. But love you guys, praying for you. If you need anything, don't hesitate to let me know. But until I get to see you guys soon, bye, y'all.